Hello.
Hey.
Hello, and can you hear us?
Welcome to Neo Gaia, the virtual desktop experience. James is your host. He's over there. I'm Tech Honors of Welcome to Dino Hour fame. Above me, we got
Kevin Hine.
Kevin Hine. Quip. And over there, the man of the hour running the helm, we got Mark
Zuckerberg.
Yep, Mark Zuckerberg up in here.
I do not go by Zuckerberg, but I do go by Junker. That's my last name.
Junk. But it's not really Junker, right?
No, it's Junker. Junker. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Junker in the Snatcher universe.
Is Spotify playing? That was the only thing I couldn't tell.
Like it.
It was.
What was that?
How are the music levels? Can the chat let me know how the volume level is here?
Yeah, it's gonna be up to the chat tonight.
Yo, Blashy,
whoa.
$5.
Hey, whoa, thank you.
Love, guys. Thank you, Blashy.
I find the music level to be too loud for me to hear myself or
What
you
happens
guys.
when you let your grandparents run your stream?
Can go down a bit, B said.
Ooh, okay. It's also a particularly dramatic song by you here, James. It's
It is.
incredible.
You can skip that commie crap.
Well, welcome to Neo
That's
Gaia,
from
the
the
virtual
Metropolis
desktop
soundtrack,
experience.
Oh,
And
boy, just talk right over Mark.
oh, geez,
I didn't know
that's It's hard to. I'm not sure if my voice is a lot clearer and louder than your guys's because I'm the one streaming. But yeah, that's usually the case. But regardless, welcome to the show. And how are you guys doing? Like, what have you guys been up to? I know I'm not the host. There is no real host or anything. But what?
We're
We're
just
doing
lost
good.
bandwidth there for a second, but I'm doing fantastic. It's great to see everyone. Once again, I am sorry that half of you are sick. Not with COVID, but with...
Novid.
Oh.
Riley.
Hey, Riley.
Thank you.
Oh, you got Dancing James.
Aww.
There I am.
Thank you very
shaking my
much.
groove maker.
Well, actually, I don't know if I have COVID or not yet.
Well, you took a test, right?
This morning, so.
But you haven't gotten the results yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting for a text.
Classic Canadian healthcare.
Well,
In
I might
the
be sick.
United States of America, we get our results instantly.
Really?
No, but it comes pretty quickly.
My friend just he has one of those like self-tests, and it's like a pregnancy test, 1 line or 2 lines.
Whoa.
He was able to administer it himself and get near instant results. They have them on GoPuff. You can get a fucking COVID test on GoPuff right now.
Sounds just like it's a pregnancy test. I don't believe it.
How do you administer it?
I don't know. I
You
guess
have to pee on it.
you have to prick yourself like
Yeah.
those kids
No
with
way.
diabetes in elementary school had a.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Tense.
I'm gonna check on it right now.
Mine was like, unfortunately, I don't know how you guys do it, but mine was a swab that went so far up my nose that it was like torture, honestly. It was a horrible...
Those are like vintage tests, dude. They're giving
what
you
the
like...
hell's going on up
That's
there?
so 2020.
Yeah, that's like March 2020 test.
Ours you self-administer. They give you the thing. It's like a cotton swab thing, and then you just put it up your nose, but not like super far, and then you just move it around 3 or 4 times or 5 times or something, and then you take it back out, and you put it back in the plastic, and then you give it back to them.
Yeah, it's the antigen test.
Because Jen was the one who started.
Yes, exactly. And it's $24. But it does not meet the CDC testing requirements to enter the U.S. when returning from a trip abroad. But it's a helpful indicator if you traveled somewhere.
You can also use astrology.
That's also extremely true. Look up at the night sky, and the first picture that your mind draws, that it sort of projects from, if you can imagine. So picture your forehead. Now imagine the folds of your forehead, like you have a furrowed brow. Mm-hmm. Now imagine between those folds, an eye appears and opens up. So that's what we're going to be calling your mind's eye. Mm-hmm. Now you need to think about your mind's eye. It's not physically there, but it exists inside of your brain. And
does it hurt? Does it hurt?
It does when it emerges out of the folds of your forehead. Which does happen. I was lying about it not happening like that. It does hurt.
Okay, it's going to happen.
Basically, thank you, Molitovic. Donation train. We're all put on board. And he's loving this special medical information that I'm
you, Molitovic.
To the stream tonight, which is so important. Mm-hmm. So, this mind's eye has the ability to project images upon a starry night sky. So imagine your night sky. Suddenly, your skin breaks open, it hurts, and then there's this eye, and upon that eye, the first image that gets projected onto the sky, so that's how you know if you have COVID or not. So if it's a friendly image, like a hot dog, a butterfly, a can of tuna.
What about a bagel?
A bagel is a neutral image. You should seek professional... talk to your doctor, basically, if you see a bagel.
B.
Oh, B.
Oh, thank you.
We have a Sega Octopus gift train going on. This is awesome.
Thank you very much. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what do you guys think of the new look here? I'm trying out a new thing. What is this OS? This is Neo Gaia OS. This is just the desktop experience incarnate. We're in a textureless 3D computer model. It feels a little bit vaporwave. Doesn't
Meta.
It? I don't know.
I feel like I'm about to enter the Hazy Maze Cave. What I feel like.
What's the Hazy Maze Cave?
The level in Super Mario 64 where you jump in a mirrored pool like that.
Oh.
As Molitovic says, Metal Mario. That one.
It's all I've ever wanted to do in my professional career is jump into a mirrored pool.
You know what it reminds me of? Is the secret world of Alex Mack.
Adam Kane dropped an Alex Mack reference just real fast.
Adam Kane would drop an Alex Mack.
It was on the after Dino Hours on I think the first one. I just tuned in to see what it was.
I also tuned in at that exact moment.
Did you really?
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like, I guess you could just Alex Mack under the door or something. Oh my god, dude, you did not just fucking say that.
I gotta admit that. I cheated during the Dino After Hours.
You cheated during Dino After Hours?
Cheated.
Oh my
I cheated.
God.
I gotta come clean. My conscience is too heavy. Yeah. I had the 100% Electronica YouTube account up on another tab, which did not have a summon limit on the red dinos, so I was just firing off hundreds of red dinos.
Dude, that is... really not okay, Kevin.
I'm so sorry.
So is that why you become so swole? That you carrying around this heavy conscious for so long? That,
Yes, it's seeping into my bloodstream.
Wow.
It's kind of like if you hold your bladder for too long, you get kind of sickly and.
What? What the fuck are you on about? Hold your bladder.
James never held his
guilty
bladder
conscience.
James,
no,
you're a frequent peer.
I'm a PP boy. I don't know if it's like a problem. Maybe it's from the coffee that I drink. But sometimes I can go hours and hours and hours and hours. No pee, no problem.
I gotta pee all the dang time. I'm a pee boy as well.
Baby cakes!
Pretty cakes.
Kevin, blue dino for life. Maybe I was blue. Actually.
Blue.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even remember.
Oh, Texas pee boy
I
too.
am a pee boy. The shroompies.
Nice.
It was a gift from Alex from the DDS Discord server.
Oh.
Matt? You know.
Speaking of the DD. That's all I see. I just want to give a quick shout out to the Slush World compilation that we released last night via the New World Mixtape Club. Back in December, a few members of the DDS New World Clubhouse, our Discord server, decided they wanted to get together and make a compilation of slush wave music, and it took a while, but it went through some ups and downs. Then it came through, and James and I released it on cassette through Ghost
I saw
Diamond.
that.
Really cool.
It looked
It's a first of its kind. Show me another fan Discord server where they're putting out tapes. Show me that.
Where they're putting out tapes.
Anyway, we're really, really proud of all of the Shroudies because they did it all. They made the art, they did the tape layout. We guided them with some templates and stuff, but we didn't do any of it. They really fucking did it. So
awesome.
Good on them. We're really proud of the Shroudies.
Yeah.
And it was fun because it was a secret. Only 5 of them knew that we had actually made physical tapes of this thing.
Yeah, not even the
Nice.
pods of the server knew.
Yeah, it was really cool. So, it was a distinct pleasure to surprise everyone to be like, "Yo, look at this! You did it! You did this!"
I think the plan is to do more stuff like that moving forward, but there's going to be some complications with that though. Not on our end, but just when they made the Slush World compilation, there was only there were 18 people who did it, and many of them were last second. But now there's a lot more people in the server.
And now they've seen the tape, so they've seen the
There's gonna be 50 people wanting to be on the compilation, so they're gonna have to make cuts. People's feelings are gonna be hurt. It's gonna be a civil war inside.
It's gonna be awesome. And because we're hands off with it,
Mm-hmm. So the
Out with it.
inmates are running the asylum.
It's Vape Council box set volume 2 in here.
Oh man, it will be a very similar vibe. It's gonna be great. So Tech and James, here it is. It's 450 tracks.
Wow.
If you guys could just press this.
It's gonna require 19 cassettes. So.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll do our best, and that's all we can do. So
You can buy the excess 8 cassette blister packs that I have left over from those Virtual Dream Plaza box sets. I still have a big box of those.
Wow.
did those sell out after everyone whined and complained about wanting it?
Yeah, those are gone, and I don't really think I'm gonna make any more again. That was
So what was that label?
Ephemera Archives.
Vaporwave Archives. Is that dead now?
It's dead. Yeah, I killed it.
It's
That's
the
truly
site.
an ephemeral archive now.
Yeah. That was always the plan, was just for it to exist basically for that one release, and then it can be done with it.
Yeah, that was before we were friends. I gobbled that up on the second pressing, I think. I emailed you. I was one of the people that emailed you after it sold out, dude, you making more? Yeah, I am. But then when you made more, I actually fucking ponied up and bought it. So
Yep.
you're welcome.
Good.
Yeah.
I also got one, but I've noticed Maybe I can get like a refund or a replacement. They seem to be stuck in the box. Like I can't. Get
Oh
them out.
yeah.
They're completely
Yeah.
like, sealed in there. I don't know if that was intentional.
You
or-
can only pull them out in the winter. They swell too much in the summer months. So
Heat makes them expand a
In
couple
true
millimeters.
slush wave, you know, kind of.
it's true. Like they do like expand considerably in the summer.
Really? You're being serious about that?
This was a whole ordeal because I ordered. I got the boxes made where my folks live in Rockford. Like I hit up so many places here in Chicago. Nobody could do what I wanted to do with it. I went to like a wood shop in Rockford, and then the dude was like, "Oh yeah, I'll make those for you." And then he made the second batches white, 8 cassette holders, because you can't find a 16 cassette holder.
All right, I'm
and
gonna
then-
look these up on Discogs. Sorry to interrupt. you.
I'm doing that exact thing right now.
Here
The
we go.
suppliers ran out. Like I bought the world's supply of the white ones, and NAC was only able to provide me with black ones, which like I measured, and they're 1/16 inch wider than the white ones. So you put 2 of those together, and then that's an 1/8 inch difference. And the original boxes were made to fit the white ones. So
this is what we're talking about here. Okay,
yeah.
let's see.
I don't see any of the box sets on.
I thought I saw it.
It's probably just that first entry.
This
If you
here?
Expand that. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I don't even want to know how much they're going for now.
What were the tapes exactly? Like what?
It's Virtual Dream Plaza. It was the Telepath project where he made all those 32-minute albums, but it was like a compilation of those. So each tape was like one.
There's
of them.
2 sets, yeah, like the full album.
So it's 16 Telepath albums?
Amazing
Basic.
craftsmanship here.
32.
Seriously. This
Or
is
32
beautiful.
Telepath albums.
Yeah, I mean each song is 32 minutes long, and
So
there's
what-
32 songs. So
What does this actually say here?
Holy shit! Oh,
Anyone who tuned in when Jeff VAPERROR was on the show, I introduced a longhand.png. So it's
my first time seeing it. I love it.
this is
oh,
one of the
Virtual Dream Plaza. I don't know how you say virtual in Japanese, but Yume is the kanji there for dream, and then,
Plaza.
Puraz. Yeah.
Puraza. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they were available for so long. Like the first batch, was like lottery style. The second batch was identical to that.
Oh, there's
I
nudity
made-
on here.
Enough.
How many did you make total?
I honestly do not remember. The first batch, like, I made a decent amount. In the second batch, I basically did pre-orders for, and then the
Decent.
leftovers sat around for like a year and a half, and then somebody must have like posted word somewhere in some forum because like the last month they were available, they were just getting snatched up like every day. And then of course, after sitting for a year and a half. After they were all sold out, like everybody wanted one. After they were already gone.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So many tapes.
So a lot of these were not created equal, but a few of a few of them are so just sublime. This is the only word I could use to describe them. I actually made a video for one when I was rendering.
I didn't know that.
I was rendering an OSCOP video in Blender, an OSCOP digital sex video that I made.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching it render while I was listening to this Virtual Dream Plaza album. And so I just started screen capturing, which slowed down the render considerably. But it was worth it because I was able to make this like half-hour long bullshit video, just like rendering a sky with like an ocean. Then you see the composite layers like flash in for a second, and it goes to the next frame. But it is kind of relaxing, and I'll link it right now in the chat for
Oh,
anyone.
my.
to
Well,
see.
links don't work in the chat, I don't think. But
What do we got up in the corner here? Is that also a?
If you
got a
post, if
7
you send
there?
it in the I can post it from the 100% account if you send
Okay.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. How should I get it to you?
Just put it in.
Yes.
Like I still very regularly listen to this project, and it's to this date probably some of my favorite vaporwave ever released. I feel pretty strongly about this. Strongly enough to start a vanity label to release a 16 tape box set version of this. So, and I asked him at Econ if he had any interest in doing the second set, because he made another whole album's worth. Another 32 song album of 32-minute long tracks. And he was kind of just like, I don't think so. And I was like, okay.
These aren't the right things.
I don't know. I can't see what you're looking at.
They're not on. I couldn't. Oh, there's one. Is that for sale?
I don't think so.
No.
That's good. That's good to hear. There's no scalpers.
Yeah, mine's sitting on my bookshelf downstairs. Proudly next to my Treebeard figure that I got for Christmas 2003. It's held on to all these years. It used to talk, but it doesn't anymore.
Speaking of
Sick.
proud figures, when is it time to pass the Christmas Ray torch?
Oh, I okay, hold on, because I never thought this day would come. But I suppose in the back of my mind, in the back of my heart, and I knew that one day it would.
Well, let's do let's whoever wants it, just speak up now. Not it.
All right, let's go to Mark.
The shipping is going to run you on that, but
I don't care what the shipping is. I will gladly give
gonna
up
buy it
possession
now.
of Christmas Ray as long as I know it's going to a home where she will be displayed.
I think
proudly.
Jeff needs it.
well,
I
why
just
don't we
don't
could
want
just collect?
her
Look
to
at
get
this,
lost or damaged.
frequently bought together.
Lord.
Yeah, Christmas Oscar is pretty sick too. Tech's not having it, but I definitely.
I just don't like stuff.
That's
I know.
Fair. That's fair.
That's good. That's a positive trait.
But then the question then becomes, well, what exactly do I like?
That's-
And that becomes harder to answer.
Everyone has to find their own balance, you know. And I think that I used to keep a lot more shit than I do now. But Kevin, I think I'm just gonna give you like my Dreamcast arcade sticks. I don't think one of them's kind of messed up and could use some work.
Whoa. Really?
And I mean, they're just sitting downstairs, and like I plug them in once every 10 years. It's like,
I bought one from Gaia like earlier this year. Like
well, you could add 2 more to that collection and ready to have a party of 3.
that would be insane.
But I mean, you know, just like you got to take care of them. You know,
Oh,
It's like,
dude.
I would trust you. It's
You know,
like,
I would disassemble and like surgically clean those.
I know exactly, and they need it because they were in a nasty closet for
Aw.
several years. I apologize about that, but they were single owner, purchased new, $99.99.
That's so beautiful.
Smoker free.
Not smoke free.
Dude,
but-
did you ever smoke cigarettes while playing your games? Like, I have so many memories of like playing Wii with friends and like just having a cigarette in that finger.
No, I would not do that.
That's gross.
Mostly just like weed, you know,
But
especially
you smoke it with your left hand, so the ash doesn't fly all over when you're
my
swinging.
my Wavebird, the analog stick of my Wavebird has definitely absorbed a lot of fucking resin from like 2004 like joints that I clumsily rolled while playing the original Animal Crossing as a
Funniest thing to
9-year-old.
me is like smoking cigarette while playing White DS Lite.
Oh
I
god.
just have memories of like me and my friends playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, like sitting in a little room with our White DS lights, like smoking cigarettes and like holding the DS with the cigarette in.
I smoked analog cigarettes for many. Whole life, you see pictures of people like doing stuff while they're smoking. You know, like playing guitar while they're smoking, or like, you know, pulling up at a Harley while they're smoking, or like, you know, shooting pool while they're smoking. And it's like, I could not keep a cigarette in my mouth for more than like 3 seconds before all the smoke's in your fucking eyes and going up your nose. It's like,
oh yeah,
how do you do stuff while you're smoking?
Smoking and playing guitar is not. That's a myth.
So Mitch Mitchell from Guided by Voices, like, there's footage of him in the Watch Me
eyeballs.
The Watch Me Jumpstart documentary, where he is just fucking jamming, and just, you can see the cigarette burning down. He's inhaling like so intensely.
Oh man,
like that dude could do it.
Were you trying to play Smash Brothers, Kevin, when you were smoking with your Wiimote? Because it looks like Nintendo recognized that tobacco-stained hardware made some games that were more demanding not perform well, according to this Wired article, if you can call it that.
Yeah, that would have been the era of Smash for Wii.
I want to know about the author
or whatever.
Can we get into his story a little bit here?
Oh,
I want to know about the guy who wrote this article.
2005, he founded the Game Life channel.
How are they doing? They still
what is it?
The Game Life channel? Game Life.
I went to my buddy. He has a block party every year.
Seems pretty successful.
His landlord is like an old rock. He's got a whole band of like, you know, old rockers, dad rockers. And I went like last weekend, and they're always playing at the block party. And I went, and there was 2 of them were smoking while playing, but it didn't look like they were having a good time. It was just for the optics.
It's awful. It's seriously fucked. Like, my joy with cigarettes was like taking a break from whatever it was that I was doing, and it's like, all right, cool. Now it's time to smoke a bone. You know.
Yeah. It's a break that only you get to have.
Yeah.
I've never smoked a cigarette. I think I've had a lit cigarette in my mouth before, probably for a photo.
For photos.
But I've never actually smoked.
Poor Tech would get
dude.
so cold, he'd hate it when he would ride in the back seat of my car when it was cold out, and I rolled down the window to smoke a cigarette, and he wouldn't complain. He was a good boy.
Thank you for noticing.
I always noticed that, but I could also tell that you were just like.
Yeah, it sucked, but it was sort of just like it was that era of Tech Honors where everything was like logic and reason, and my rationale was like, it's simply your car. Like, I can't, you know what I mean? Like, right. I have no say here.
Well, tell me, friend, when did Tech Honors, the wise, abandon reason for madness?
Oh.
It is like sometimes it is just kind of like, really, you're gonna smoke in this little enclosed space, you know, like.
It really makes me sick. Like, it triggers migraines for me. I can't even be within 30 feet of people smoking cigarettes without feeling
dude, I remember that Kobe show. The next day, that woman about to call an ambulance because you were in the parking lot, throwing up in a little hard-off bag.
Yeah, yeah, actually.
That was a grim.
Like, no, please.
Yeah.
We do not need an ambulance. Like.
Thanks for being there for me. Like, you weren't there, Tech, but if you don't like seeing people throw up into little baggies in public, you would have. It's probably for the best. Yeah.
It was like a little mini one too, like meant to hold like one jewel case.
It was so sunny. That's what I remember, is that it was just blaring sunlight, and you were so.
It was super hot too.
And we had to ride a train for like 40 minutes.
I was throwing up on the train, and everybody was like staring at me and walking away from me. And I'm surprised they weren't smoking on the train too. Honestly,
also, James and I needed coffee, and we went into this coffee shop, and then immediately before Mark made it in the door, like we could see everybody in there was smoking, and then we were just like, okay, we got it. We can't go to this coffee shop. We turned around, and then the owner was like, wait, like ran out of the shop. Was like, come back.
I'm sorry, our friend is sick.
Damn. Yeah.
So yellowing electronics, like, how much of that is because of smoking, though? I thought the whole idea was that, like, 10, it's one of those things where they're like, you hear 10 to 15 different things.
It's flame deterrent chemicals. They age
right, so I've
differently.
heard that, and I've also heard someone say, no, it's not that. It's something else. And it's like,
Yeah.
certain batches of SNESs used the flame deterring chemical, and certain batches did not. So that's why, like, for a certain population of those SNESs, like 100% of them will yellow, but there's the others that were made with the different plastic formula that will not. Naturally, that is.
There was a moment where I considered retro brighting my Mac Plus, and I'm so glad I didn't, because it would probably just be yellower right now.
It just turns back, because I have a Dreamcast that's, like, definitely nicotine stained, like, because it's the front of it is just blasted, and you can just tell it was, like, sitting on top of somebody's TV while they just blew smoke at it. And I did retro bright it, and it stayed clean, like clean, crispy white for 2 or 3 years, and then, like, started rapidly getting yellower, and now it's yellower than it was when I started.
So
Can you just retro bright it again?
You could, but you just have to do it every.
It's a really retro brighting is an awful.
It's an awful process.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Is it just reacting
Like,
to
you have to
oxygen then,
basically-
or like why does it do it on its own?
It's hair developer cream, so it's what they use, to base bleach your hair before they bleach it. So you have to, like, apply a totally even layer over it, and then, like, put it in saran wrap or a bag, and it's got to be exposed to UV light for, like, 2 days or something. So, like, a garbage can or a put, like, a black light or some other light that emits UV over top of it, and then leave it sitting in there, for several days. Or you could do what I did and just put it up on the roof in a bag.
So you didn't do this? You didn't line this with Philips Hue gamer lights or whatever?
I remember the original retro brighting video with the 8-bit guy, who might have still been the iBook guy at the time.
That's like.
And I just remember seeing his house and his driveway and his, like, truck, and being like, whoa, this guy, he's got a life. But yeah, something about, like, hydrogen peroxide responding to UV light or something, that interacting plastic.
Hey, this is getting intense.
I accidentally retro brighted part of the, like, plastic shower casing in one of the bathrooms in my house. So I used, like, hydrogen peroxide spray, and I was like spraying all over the bathroom, and, like, I sprayed the shower and went and cleaned something else. And then I came back, and all the drips, when I wiped them away, it created these beautiful white streaks. Like, it's not yellow looking; it's just like an off white, And then the hydrogen peroxide streaks are all, like, it still looks like that, like mascara, like a panda.
I'm definitely never gonna do this.
No way.
The most, like, involved I've ever modified a console is, like, original Game Boy. I added an LCD, like, backlight to it, and there's one step where there's like a ribbon cable connecting the screen, so you actually like can't like pull the screen away from the frame of the Game Boy without breaking it. So you have to, like, basically hold it at an angle, and then you have to, like, dip your Q-tip in alcohol and then slowly just, like, rub it and get the whole screen. It takes like an hour. Just you can't get an angle where you can apply pressure or cover a lot of square inch. Like
There's a better solution.
I've had bowls of food that I left in my fridge for like a week longer than I should have, and I just threw it away. Never do any of this stuff. It's like way too. Gets your hands all wet.
Like, sometimes it's fun to,
whatever this is.
bring
yeah.
something back from the dead.
I don't know what's going on here. This looks disgusting.
It's about the process.
I don't like anything that requires like
putting
all
your
this
Sega
labor.
Saturn in a giant bag of cum. Yeah, that looks disgusting. What is happening here?
So
So
that's
basically, I saved up about this is about 4 weeks of cum.
Dude,
What is this?
I unfortunately have a story about that.
I don't want to hear that story.
I don't know if we need that. Yeah.
I think I've heard this story. I don't. We can keep that one off air.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some more coffee though. Tech, you should make some.
Oh my god, I'll be
check
up
out-
all night.
Check out the link I sent, Mark.
Oh,
This is a much better solution for yellowed SNESes.
okay.
Oh.
Let's see here. Where did you
Man.
send it?
In the Skype chat.
Oh, okay. It's hard for me to get back there.
I can't believe
Yeah.
it's SNES, Kevin. I just can't believe that.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System. How about that?
All right.
Ooh.
Because if you just say Super Nintendo, that's not correct either.
Someone give me a ride home. We stopped at McDonald's.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I just took all the stairs because I don't know where my
Oh my god, that's so loud.
McDonald's ASMR. Well, yeah, like
Tell-
somebody basically made, a 3D model of the SNES and mapped it out and shit, and like is making new molds. So they're, I think they're still taking orders for these because there's like a minimum order of like 500 pieces or something to get them factory made.
Gotcha.
This is
That's
nice looking.
But yeah, they look really cool.
Yeah. Not official though, so.
Right.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Do you have to wash it like your dishes as well, or does it just come like
No,
pre-made?
the reason I have an aversion to the phrase or the term SNES is because I worked with this guy who was fucking such a tool. He was very much just like a frat bro kind of guy, and he was real flaky, which is why I didn't really like him, because all I really want out of a coworker is somebody who just does the job well and shows up,
That's all we ever want out of anyone, really.
That's all I ever really want. But anyway, he was like telling me like how he was trying to talk about how he was really into Super Nintendo games, and like I maybe he was, I don't know, but he's like, yeah, I used to be really involved in like the just like cart trading these. And it's just kind of like, I don't know, like I got out of that game a little while back.
Oh my god.
Fuck up, shut up. But yeah, so it's triggering for me.
Sneeze.
What is this
Sneak,
carnivore?
yeah.
This little carnivore. I don't know. Kevin just sends me sites to like sends me to sites that sell pieces of plastic for $600 every 2 weeks. I don't know what any of them do, but I buy all of them just to earn his respect. Yeah. So
Goddamn right.
looks like
We'll
I'm gonna have to
continue
buy
do
half
so.
of this stuff here.
Oh, did I miss Michaela? Hey,
Yes.
was she wearing a mask?
She wasn't.
If she's ever wearing a mask, I got a great joke for that. Just let me know, Tech.
Okay, she was wearing a mask.
Ask her if she wears a mask because you smell so bad.
Michaela, James wanted me to tell you that he said, hey.
One of these days, that joke is gonna land, baby, and you're gonna be in a world of pain.
She said, what's up, James?
Nice.
Oh, shout out to James Downing in the chat here, the creator of Worm John. I'm not going to elaborate on what Worm John is, but I'm just going to toss that out there. It's a string of words that you may or may not be familiar with, Worm and John. Yeah.
Mark, what the hell are you talking about?
I saw the origin story, but I didn't know what it. Excuse me. I saw the origin story, but I didn't know what incarnation they were talking about. So why don't you go into some information for us there, Mark?
All I can tell
I
you
need
is
to
that
know.
it's definitely not chemtrails. It's definitely not chemtrails. That's all I can really say at this point. I don't really want to.
Well, that's like
Get too
most
deep into it.
things.
You know, this morning,
Yeah.
You've narrowed it down for us, though, so it's not
every day when I wake up, I can expect to find a question from Mark on my iPhone. And it's usually, dude, what even is blank?
Am I that
And this morning it
predictable?
was, dude, what even is Rune Factory? And then I explained it, and then I said, okay, my turn. What's Worm John? And then he wouldn't answer. I answered his question. He would not answer mine.
This is not Worm. None of this is Worm John. So
So
that's-
basically, I'm saying that I had a bad day today because of that.
Well, why don't you take it up with our friend James Downing here in the chat, also known
Chat,
as
if you're
Kook.
just now tuning in, you have as little a clue as to what anyone is talking about as I do, and I've been here for 40 minutes.
I have about 14% grasp. I know that Rune Factory is like a fantasy RPG Harvest Moon. The
Yeah.
worm, I saw the worm, there's like a meteor that collided with Earth, and then all these worms came off of it, and then they became people that wear hoodies in cities.
Dude, why are you asking me about it? You know so much
Well,
about it.
so that's all I know, but I don't know
You know, I think
anymore.
you know more than anyone I've ever heard speak about it before. So, yeah.
All right, well, so Tech, there you go.
I don't know I have no idea what the hell you just
All right,
said.
so basically, they're kind of like Thetans. They arrived on Earth, and then they were distributed, and now they wear hoodies.
I was
Are
thinking
they
that it was
dream
another
bunkers?
name for Earthworm Jim.
No, I don't think so. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's definitely not that. It's not Earthworm Jim. I don't condone Earthworm Jim fandom.
Oh, now why not? Is it the Rockabilly?
You froze. I didn't hear what you said, but
I said
probably.
it's the Rockabilly stuff because I don't like that either. But I do like the fridges, the refrigerators. Kind of reminds me of PT a little bit. Might have a little PTSD from refrigerator that you might have encountered in PT.
Fuck.
Now,
Can we talk about
yeah,
something?
let's just loop back and stop doing stream of consciousness Worm John based
Wait,
poetry.
Check this out, Mark.
Way too esoteric.
I think it's great though. Look at this background. I think that we're falling right in line with the new direction of the show. You know.
Oh, are you making
I
fun
love-
of the thing that I made for the show?
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I put
Dude,
1.75
it's so-
hours into this.
James is pissed. Well, what are those Canadian hours?
Yeah, so that's like a half an
More
hour
than
in U.S. hours.
American.
Yeah.
I know that from book prices. Under the ISBN, it says.
Speaking
Anyway,
of
Getting back on track.
Speaking of nonsensical, disjointed art direction and everything else that you're critiquing right now, let's move on to another backdrop that I created. This one I can't defend because I don't really know what I was doing when I made this. Is it vaporwave?
It's positively charming, is what it is.
I think it's charming. I like it.
I love this.
I would call it vaporwave, but vapor would have to be spelt with an E, I think, in order
Yeah.
for that to work. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
So good job on that.
Thank you.
Uh,
I appreciate that.
Where'd you
You
get
got the
pro?
dash hand in here too, the world famous dash hand.
So you can just turn on the monitor. I don't know what the frame rate or the IPS of this monitor. Kevin, you can elaborate on what
There
resolution
was no
this monitor
IPS
is.
on this monitor.
Oh,
Where'd you
I'm
get
sorry.
the pro?
Where did I get the crow?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It
know.
looks like it's Looks like it's from the video for "Burn the Witch" by Radiohead.
I remember that video. Got flack for being a knockoff of some like British like children's show or something. What doesn't Radiohead get flack for though? You know?
I tell ya.
Oh, I see. This here?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
I gotta admit, I got a little chuckle out of that.
I mean, I can
Okay,
turn the
computer.
I
Frequently bought with how to self-suck guide.
I did not think that was funny.
I know you didn't.
Did you actually block Chillwave Kids because
I
of
didn't
that?
block
or-
him. I temporarily muted him. I put it. I use mute. I am the warden of my own social media, and muting, those are the jail cells. And there are some that will never leave the muted prison. And then there are others that just temporarily go there. So like when everyone was posting AI art, I was muting the people that were continuously posting it, because it's like, you've seen 3, you've seen them all, you know?
Yeah.
I get it.
It's a timeout. It's a good way to
It's
time
just
it
time
out. I
out.
think,
Yeah,
you know?
and so Chillwave was like, James, you know, I'm actually like a Radiohead fan. Like, you know, like I'm, you know, and I'm like, dude, all right, it's fine. You know, I take it really personally. My whole life I've been told that Cold Fools and Radiohead sucks, and now that's the popular opinion again. And so I seriously feel like I'm in the 10th grade, and I have to be like, I'm sorry, I just like shit that doesn't suck. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm browsing your. I don't see Chillwave here in your follower count, so I don't know, man. Maybe you unfollowed him. It seems in your anger you may have unfollowed him.
Cool. We're chill. It's all good, you know. It's just that sometimes it's just like, all right, look, enough.
Hey, check out that link I sent you, Mark, in the Skype chat.
One sec, I need to go to my
James,
other monitor.
James might be into those too.
Kevin, I swear to God.
What do we got here?
It's truly, for the first time in history, the vertical boy stand orientation has been confirmed.
Oh wow! Isn't it always legs forward? Wait.
What the hell's
I'm
going
gonna
on?
look at mine upstairs. Hold on a second. I thought there was only one way that it clicked into the thing.
I don't know.
Mark,
You can do it either way, and there's always like, I don't know, there's always like a meme like, oh, stands on the wrong way, but then like somebody pulled up like the official, you know, Nintendo documentation, and it shows it.
That's cute.
Shows it that way.
I don't know how to get my myself back from this.
You gotta hit the X on the chat. Close conversation.
The four of text emotions are next to him here.
Yeah, all 4.
The 4 faces of the 1,000-face tech.
There we go.
Nice.
Whoa! There are Space Jam reacts.
Yum. Skype.
Oh my gosh.
Holy cow! Ooh,
Oh.
come on.
Yeah.
Wait, how'd you guys get those?
We upgraded Skype,
It's
our favorite app.
a Mac exclusive.
Oh, you only have 6 slots. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
LeBron James.
Wasn't it weird when that was another weird thing that happened on Twitter when like a bunch of adults were like writing really serious reviews of Space Jam, like, ugh, I'm so disappointed.
Like, what are you? It's a
like-
children's movie.
Did you see the original? Because it sucked too, man.
Yeah, like.
It's so weird. Like, for my next tweet, I will review Paw Patrol.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's like this weird problem.
Right.
There's a weird problem that adults have in general. That it's like twofold. One is that they cannot possibly remember they cannot possibly remember what things were like to them at a young age. Because if you watch any fucking movie that's like about like children or like adolescent. They're all like all the character. Nothing the characters say makes any sense. It's nothing that like a 13 or 14-year-old person would say or whatever.
Yeah.
But then also, adults also seem to have this inability to separate what they liked from like their youth, like in an objective. Only liked it because I was young, and it wasn't actually like good. It's just I was young, and everything's good when you're young because it's the first time you've ever fucking seen it. You know what I mean?
The first time you've seen anything, so it's like, holy crap!
I mean, I remember thinking that nothing could possibly ever be funnier than Good Burger, the movie.
Right.
That was just the apex of comedy.
Or even,
it can never get funnier than that.
I felt the exact same way about, and I was even older. I was like a teenager, like Austin Powers.
Like
I
Kung
remember
Pao
seeing,
Enter
like,
the Fist was the next movie where I was just like, okay, this is the new standard. You know,
it's like everything they say is hilarious. You know? Like, just like this endless stream of jokes, and then you watch it and like, wow, this is actually. This is not my my style of comedy anymore.
Yeah.
What I'm into.
Well, I remember when I was a kid. Funny. When I was a kid, I remember thinking that it was whack that people didn't like some movies. Like I would hear adults be like, "Oh, that was bad. That was a bad movie," and I would be like, "What are you talking?" I've never disliked a movie I've ever seen, like as a child, because. They're like the only movies, like it's your first time experiencing movies.
That's
good.
That's literally it's a character trait of Greg Turkington on Cinema at the Cinema. It's just like, and you know, and they're all good because you know they don't make bad movies.
But yeah, it was just. I remember the first time I ever realized that a movie was bad was when I saw the movie. The George Clooney Batman? Was it Batman and Robin?
Batman Forever?
Did he have the nipples?
It was Batman and Robin.
The metal
it was
nipples,
the one with Uma Thurman and Poison Ivy.
Yes.
And Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I remember after that movie was over, I thought to myself, I was like, I think that obviously I enjoyed it because I'm whatever 12 or something and it's fine, but like I was like, I'm pretty sure like that
this sucks.
It isn't good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that like wasn't good. Yeah,
I remember moments of disappointment. I remember seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie with my sister and just like feeling weird,
confused.
It's just like that's not Yoshi. Like,
right.
Dude, so many questions.
But the thing was, I always deferred to authority. So if adults were making a movie, then certainly it was going to be of quality. Good. I did this for a really long time too. I assumed that every rock band. I remember being pissed off because I was like, I knew that like I thought that Linkin Park's music wasn't very good, but like because they were in a band. I knew that they had to have good taste in music. And then they would talk about like how they like, you know, they were like, I really like that Edema album or like whatever fucking new metal trash was happening at the time. And then I was just like, they fucking listen to that? And then it was
heck, didn't you get the memo? New metal has been good all along.
Right.
It's all over the internet. It's actually not like a
just
corporate created refuse of like bizarre teenage angst as expressed by people in their late 20s. No, Tech, it's legitimate art and it's really good and better than that whiny Radiohead shit. That stuff is trash, man. That
really
guy, what's he whining about now?
It's just like Y2K commercial art. Commercial art. That's the funniest thing about it is the appreciation of commercial art.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So you will be buying the Paw Patrol 7-inch test pressing bundle collector's edition limited.
Oh my god.
This is a real thing you can buy. Why?
Test pressing?
There's a test pressing bundle. Yeah.
Oh, it's only $13, dude. Just buy that shit.
There you go. And
It's only 13.
Just buy it.
It's the official theme
Don't
song.
think.
So I would like to segue real quick. Tech, when we were having that conversation, I did a quick Google of Batman and Robin. and it looks like DC has been trying to rebrand all of their old Batman movies. So this is actually, just search Batman and Robin, and you'll see the new poster. So you're getting all nipples here.
Oh, right. Sorry, you didn't want the nipples. I'll change that up. What are we looking for? This thing?
No, so that's the original poster.
Okay.
Like, it's not coming up in your search results. God,
Canadian internet.
Canada.
This one?
Yeah.
Here, I'll send it to the Skype.
This is the 4K Blu-ray box set edition.
Oh my god.
It's like, dude, who are you trying?
Wow.
If you, I mean, you can already. There are plenty of red flags.
So that's like on streaming or like Netflix or something.
Yeah, yeah. This is
My God. I can't. Oh, this is. He's peeking out.
like the
from
Snyder
the,
cut.
Oops. Sorry, I'm
Batman
a
and
little bit.
Robin. Snyder cut.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard-
always
it's
love
hard for
when
me
they
to,
try to like make a modern thumbnail, you know, for a classic movie. Not that that movie's, you know, classic, but you know what I mean.
Well, half of them just use the Star Wars template.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like
So
You know,
this-
speaking of Batman, I watched the sickest documentary about Batman Returns. It was like an hour long. It was great, and it was from like the early 2000s or the late 90s. So it was like a retrospective, but everyone was still like young enough to have it fresh in their minds. And I posted a link on Twitter, and a whole day went by, and not a single person liked it.
Wow.
This happens to me a lot when I post YouTube links. I think that
Twitter
YouTube-
actively buries
They do.
YouTube links.
Facebook does the same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too when I
Weird.
post links.
It
yeah.
will not show up on because it takes you off their site, and then
Right.
you're not using their platform anymore.
Well,
so.
it was bullshit because it was a great documentary. If anyone has an interest in Batman Returns, it's actually like they get pretty candid. Tim Burton talks about. He's like, yeah, at one point, you know, like we had a meeting with the studio to, you know, brainstorm doing possibly a third one, and you know, in the meeting, they started to be kind of like, well, I mean, don't you want to do like a smaller movie, you know, after doing so many big movies? And he's like, and I just came out and said it, like, you guys don't want me to make this movie, do you? They're like, no, we're not saying that. And he's like, no, it's cool. That's fun. And then he's like, yep, and that's how that went.
Do you know that documentary is short for documentary?
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's true.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Nice to meet you. It's just unreal.
It's just Arnold in
Oh man.
in some funny armor.
I actually
Dominator.
missed what you were saying. Is this actually like a Blu-ray 4K re-release of this, like, or just
Well,
a?
this is just a thumbnail that popped up. I'm not
Okay.
sure where exactly. It's just
Yeah, this does remind me of the Evangelion Blu-ray box set that just dropped. They tried to mimic the laser disc. I don't know if you guys saw this.
I have not. This is dangerous though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, let's see here.
A
all
spoiler
these look
alert,
great.
I haven't seen any of the new Evangelion movies because
Here,
I
guys.
haven't either.
I've been waiting for them to be complete, and now they are. So it's now I need to watch them. And
Wait,
so be like a
can we-
month, and I'll have notes.
Can we
So-
talk about that in a second after we look at this?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
I have
this
a question.
This is basically the original series, not the rebuilds. So they re-released it, a restoration that comes with the original subs and the original dubs from like the old broadcasts, and it's all designed to look exactly like the
Oh, that's not
Laserdisc.
vinyl? I
Yeah.
thought for sure that was like a vinyl soundtrack thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it reads that way because it was Laserdisc of the size of vinyl, but it's just a recreation of it. It's a pretty cool design. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
But isn't there something with the music? Like they couldn't put "Fly Me to the Moon" on there for whatever reason,
That
They
I
should
don't
have
know.
just fucking done it. Who cares?
right?
I have that
Fucking around.
Copyright is joke.
S7 Works soundtrack that that. I have that 7 or 8 disc box set of the original series, and it only has. It does have "Fly Me to the Moon." It has several, but not all of them.
Hmm.
It has like the weird instrumentals, I think. Let's see what? Because I sampled one.
Interesting.
Fly me to the moon.
So
Okay, I have a question about watching Evangelion. All right. What is like the full experience without it being like what the fuck are you supposed to watch?
I
Well,
can answer
Watch
this
the
question.
original series.
I think we all probably have an answer to this, so we can
We'll do roundtable.
do a roundtable because there
The
are
best way
like,
to experience Evangelion is as the developers intended. Watch the original series all the
Right.
way through. Anyone who tells you to skip the last 2 episodes, those are the kind of people that are like, "Oh man, new metal is actually really good."
right. I would.
You need to watch it because that was, the original intent.
Of course.
And the end of Evangelion was actually 2 movies. One movie was kind of a recap, retelling of the entire series, and then the end of Evangelion, which was the film finale that the Japanese government basically demanded.
government.
Government of
Well,
Japan.
Hold on, because you're getting too far. You're getting scatterbrained. You're calling things "End of Evangelion." I don't know if you're talking. You also called it 2 movies are recap. What do you say?
This is why it's confusing, because the end of Evangelion
Mm-hmm.
is like 2 movies.
What do you
One,
mean? When you say it's like 2 movies, are there 2 separate movies?
Yes.
yes.
Are they called
Yes.
End of Evangelion? Are both of them called End of Evangelion?
I think so.
One of them is, and then
I know
one
one
of
of
them.
them is because I've
yeah.
seen it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
But yes,
Okay.
but no, it's not your stream messing up Rainy Cakes. It's Canadian internet.
Yeah. Every few minutes it'll freeze, but hopefully soon I'll have better internet. My apologies, but
Okay.
I gotta say I agree with James. Like, if you can skip the last 2 episodes because they kind of do a retcon a little bit without any spoilers here. In a way, if you can make sense of any of it, but it's
Death
definitely
and
like
Rebirth. That's
yeah.
what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, right. If you get
It's
if
called
you start
Death and Rebirth.
if you start
That
cutting out
is-
episodes, then you are basically doing a machete order like Star Wars order. Like you can watch them any way you want, but you pretty much have to watch the whole thing just like in chronological order. It's your best bet to try to make sense of it, I think. But
So
yeah.
here, I'm sorry. So Tech, you have the first original run of the series, and then there was Death and Rebirth, and the end of Evangelion, which were 2 films that came out after the completion of the show, after there were riots, and so Death and Rebirth is not necessarily necessary, although there are a few details. It's like one of those things where you might as well do it because it's part of the canon, and then
Yeah.
the end of Evangelion, that's where you get to see all the cool shit that they make hoodies out of.
What
Okay.
have you
But
seen?
so wait.
What have you actually watched so far?
I've seen the series. I've seen End of Evangelion. I watched them like 50,000 years ago and don't remember much.
Okay.
But the question now is what is 3.0 plus 1.0?
Right, and that is really confusing, but basically they remade the entire thing from scratch.
What do you mean thing?
The
whole
Evangelion
series.
has been rebuilt from scratch in the HD
It's a
era.
retelling of the story with new
With
animation.
Characters and new ideas, new pilots, new Avas. I haven't seen it, so I can't say much about it. But
It's a reimagining. Like, think about how Final Fantasy VII Remake is a remake of the original. It's kind of like they put in enough energy from the original one, but then they kind of go off and do another thing. It's like that on steroids. It's like they definitely are like, hey, we want to remix this, and we want to just do something different. Here's creative output that's gonna blow your mind.
So you would watch the full anime, you would watch Death and Rebirth, you would watch End of Evangelion, and then you would just watch 3.0 plus 1.0 or whatever.
Well, you would watch there are what, 3 of these movies?
There's 4.
Four of them. So
Four of what
of the
movies?
rebuild of
rebuilds.
Evangelion movies.
So are those not part of the 3.0 plus 1.0?
They are, no,
So-
that's
3.0 plus 1.0 is the final film in this 4-film retelling of Evangelion. So imagine a line in the sand after 1997. Everything before it is like old Evangelion through the end of Evangelion. And then they started making these movies like 15 or 20 years later, and these are the rebuild of Evangelion, which are 4. So you could just I'm sure like a lot of people maybe didn't even see the original series, could just watch these 4 movies
Right.
and have a complete Evangelion experience.
yeah.
I got you.
That would be confusing.
But it would be like playing Final Fantasy VII Remake without having playing Final Fantasy VII.
You can do
Exactly.
it.
No, it
Yeah.
would not. It would not be like that at all.
Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I am speaking out of my ass right now. So, Mark, I'll defer to you on this one.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm very conscious of that, so I won't. I'll try really hard to avoid any details. But I do think it doesn't really make a lot of sense outside of the context of wanting to revisit Evangelion in a different way because you know it. But I guess that's.
But that's how 7 Remake is too. 7 Remake is its own thing, and you don't have to play 7 to know what's going on. But if you do, it just informs you.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to know Zack's backstory. You're just like, oh, whoa, it's another like soldier. What's that about? You know what I mean?
There was a key word there, inform. They tell you what is going on, and that does not happen in these movies, I don't think. I don't think they stand alone as a narrative without the context. That's just my
Well,
opinion.
to be fair,
Yeah.
the original didn't really either.
Yeah, I guess it's a
Jehoshaphat-
continuation of that.
Okay, Jehoshaphat in the chat says, how is the main guy, Shinji, not super annoying to the point of ruining the series? I only watched 5 or so episodes. And then he was asking about they were asking about the rest of the stuff.
I think
But
that's almost entirely dependent on which dub you watch. Like,
I disagree. I definitely think that I always found Shinji to be incredibly annoying. I decided to interpret Shinji through the way that James and Keith talked about Shinji, and in the way that they sort of seemed to connect in some way to like Shinji's experience or adolescent experience. I do not connect with the way that Shinji is. I just don't have the same. I don't connect with Shinji, but thinking about it in a broader sense, like that other people do, and that maybe that is maybe that's a more normal experience. I don't know.
No,
Then
I
I just
don't think so.
For me, when I think it depends on like what time you are at in your life when Evangelion comes to you, and 20 or 21 or 22, and it was close enough to my adolescence that I could remember the awkwardness and the frustration. And I remember like finishing Evangelion and feeling like it captured all of the like icky disgustingness of my male adolescence in a way that I had never seen a piece of media like go in so hard on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Some
all
of
the
it-
cum stuff. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, and just like and you all the weird guilt and like
Yeah.
what would you even do with your attractions, and what does any of this mean, and you're worth nothing, and all you want to do is, you know.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a maybe there might be some level of disconnect for me on account of being Ace. In terms
Right.
of,
Yeah. So
I think, yeah. But I think that there's still, I still understand the tension, and I don't know. I guess maybe I just like focus more on that. It's also just like, what kind of, I just don't rant for a second, but people that complain about Shinji being annoying or whatever, just shut up. It's just a character, and you're watching this character. You don't have to be the main character in every fucking thing that you watch. Sometimes the main character is not relatable to you, and that's okay.
I mean,
it's
it's
just
by
an annoying
design.
person.
It's like it's not like he's, like it there's supposed to be some sort of character growth with most characters, right? And like you're not supposed to like every single character, even main characters in every single series, because it's kind of
expected. Marvel, hell yeah, they all.
I think the problem is that, especially with like, I mean, Hollywood movies for sure. It seems like there's like a real, the main character is always built to be this every person. That it's the Jim looking at the camera. It's
the guy who just wants to save his family. Why can't you understand that?
Yeah,
they never do anything for his family.
They never look too weird. They never, you know what I mean? It's always got to be the average experience, so that you can put yourself in that character's position. But I think, like, it's frustrating, and I'm not calling you out, Joseph Eddie. You're certainly not the first person. Just at some point, I think it's like it's more fun to me to watch a story about a character that I can't relate to in a way, because it's just like you're just watching someone else's experience at that point, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's like, like
I watch the Joker. I see that guy and I'm like, man, he's just like me.
I mean, this show's from the early 90s or the 80s
Joker
or
within
something,
us all.
right? It's like, I do think it kind of predates our like expectations of like cinematic character archetypes that we can appreciate as Western viewers. Like, I think there's like some kind of a maybe underdeveloped or fully intentional like character here that's written to appeal to 16-year-olds in Japan. It's unclear exactly what that character is supposed to be, I think, and a lot of people want to derive more out of it, and that's where the frustration comes. Like, either they're hating on him or I don't really know if anybody relates to him wholly and completely.
Well,
but,
it is a good question. I do wonder, like, if for Japanese audiences, I wonder if, like, maybe I don't know what the Japanese adolescent experience is like. Especially, I don't know what the Japanese adolescent experience in 1997 is like. You know what I mean? So maybe there was some sort of relatability to Shinji in that regard that made more sense. I don't know, but
for me, it's so much bigger than Shinji was just. I mean, it is like the most epic cyber lore shit. You know what I mean? It's like the story of Evangelion begins like millions of years ago with like an ancient race of life-giving aliens. Like, it's so fucking cool,
Well, I also do want to say, though, I've watched the first 7 or 8 episodes maybe fairly recently. And to Jehoshaphat's credit here, like the first 5 episodes, you don't really, the story doesn't begin kind of opening up in a bigger way until the very end of, like, I don't know, maybe like episode 8 or something. And like that dude that like Misato has like a crush on or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of just Power Rangers until then.
He like walks in and he's like, this is Adam. This is the first human being or something like that. And it's like this weird thing in a case. And then the episode ends and you're like, okay, wait, hold on a second. And that's kind of when things start to develop in the show in a way that is much more intriguing than, teenage kids dealing with big robot problems.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the like the magic does lie, is like the meeting of like slice of life, like cooking and cleaning up after yourself. Like you're just kind of absorbed into the world. There is character development, but it's like indirect, and then you have this sort of like jumping back between showing up at Miss Otto's apartment and then just having an evening versus like exciting, like very elaborate, like launching programs. Like I feel like some episodes, like all you're doing is just launching AV Unit 1, and that's like the whole episode. It's just like
It's so sick. All the computer screens.
Oh, yeah,
my god, the design is so good.
It's incredible.
Also, just like circling back, like I think that the whatever dub you choose to watch does have a big impact on how palatable the characters are, and this
A third
is
impact, if you will.
yeah. I mean, this expands far beyond just Evangelion. Like there's for instance, like 13 Sentinels, I tried to replay the game with the English voice acting, and like I could not stand it. Like the characters that I liked, I found myself like disliking just because I thought that the tone of the American voice actors just did not fit the character that was developed in my mind while playing through the game with subtitles. Like,
you know, I was thinking about this because I got Skyward Sword, which is totally dope, obviously, because it's Zelda. And, like, there still hasn't been a Zelda game with voice acting. And if there ever is, like, God help us. Like, the magic, like, the spell will be broken, and it will just be like every other game.
I think Nintendo knows that.
I think they do, too.
I will say though, I've watched the entire Evangelion anime series twice. Sorry, we got lost connection here.
Okay.
I watched the entire series twice, all the way through with the English dub, the original, and the most recent watches that I've done have been through the Netflix version, with the redub, and I mean, just 100%. I prefer the redub on Netflix. The characters are all significantly more palatable to me, and I get the magic or whatever of the original dub. Like I get it, but like I also know that as someone who's not into anime, it's irritating, it can be like world breaking at points when the characters are like so over the top.
Like the American general's like, "Why? We can do this. This is not going to be a problem at all." It's like, what the fuck, man?
Well, just like even dealing with just like Asuka, like being like.
Well, that's because they have the American. This is a big problem with voice acting and dubbing in general, is when they coach the U.S. voice talent to try to sound like the Japanese voice talent.
Oh.
And like it's just so very like, you know, we speak differently, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like there's
that's why
the Japanese anime style is very over the top, but then like when you try to translate that to English, it doesn't work.
No, I think well, with the the Netflix version creates a more subdued environment. One thing about the Netflix version that sucks though is that the sound of the cicadas are like extremely shrill and drove me nuts. But
I noticed that.
Regardless, it was just like, this is horrid. But the actual like dialogue is way more just like human.
Natural.
Yeah. And so like it was interesting to hear Misato like be so chill. Because it seems like her character kind of is that way. Mm-hmm. But in the original dub, she's so like loud, like all the characters are. And so hearing her be more subdued in the new dub was just like, oh, okay, I can get behind this or whatever. But I do also remember there being certain moments where I was like, I kind of like the old version in this regard. So, you know, it's whatever. But
and you haven't watched it in Japanese? You've only watched it English dubs?
I've only watched the dubs. I could watch it in Japanese, I'm sure.
I find that often is like somehow more compelling to me. Like I watched Star Wars Attack of the Clones dubbed in Japanese, and I was like, wow, this is like adding a lot of production value for me.
You weeb. Get out of here, you
That's
fucking
too
weeb.
far. That's too far.
It's compelling.
No,
man.
I think the Japanese most other times that I have watched anime, I have used subtitles. But I even remember like asking James and Keith. I was like, should I watch this with subs or dubs? And they both said that the English dub is good.
Evangelion, yeah, the dub was good. The best dub, fucking Fooly Cooley's dub is superb. Like you could just watch that in English and it's like totally fine. And
Cowboy
it's very
Bebop's got a good one too.
You know, I've never watched Cowboy Bebop. Oh, I should just watch the thing they got coming on Netflix. That looks good, right?
You should watch the.
You should watch the original. It's sweet.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
But
all I
this
could
does
think of is I'm
excite
reading
me.
about all the controversy about Cowboy Bebop live action. Oh my god, like
They
her
got-
tits are too small. This guy is black. They're not smoking cigarettes. It's like I feel so bad for these actors because
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is a fucking sick job. Like
Yeah.
at the price of I will be hated by millions of like horrible, disgusting people
Yeah.
for like no good reason. Like they
Yeah,
made a
it's the
second
worst.
season of Fooly Cooley that apparently sucks. Like obviously it's gonna suck. Like guess what? I didn't watch it. It doesn't make the original worse. You know what I mean? Like if Star Wars has taught us anything, it's that everything goes on for too long and eventually the broth gets spoiled, you know? Like it just happens and it's okay.
It
It's
should
a part of life.
probably be in their contract as actors to like just stay away from Twitter for 6 months or something like that. Like if you take this job, like you should avoid the internet for as long as possible once it's been published to Netflix. Like
Yeah.
I
Too
just-
many
I just hope the best for all three of them and their lives and their careers. I just hope that they're happy, you know?
Me too.
That's all I want. That's all I want for them.
Fuck off.
And that's all I want for my friends here at Neo Gaia Fantasy, and that, of course, is Tech Honors, Kevin Hine, and Mark Junker, my good friends, whom I can't wait to see again, to hold in my arms, to whisper, to breathe upon each strand of your beautiful hair like a whispering breeze across the pines on a moon-swept night.
Speaking of friendship,
Beautiful.
thank you for
Thank
this
you.
postcard, James. Speaking
Oh,
of
you're
friendship,
welcome. Oh, yeah, Birds of Alaska. That's a great one that I picked out just for you.
I love birds.
That's,
you can tell by
Hey,
the 3D crow.
Oh, it won't show up.
You're gonna have to turn off.
Have any of you guys ever
how does this
reheated?
work?
Have any of you guys ever reheated chicken nuggets from McDonald's?
I did once when I was when I wore a younger man's clothes.
How did you do it? Just microwave?
Yeah, at like a low, I would do like half power. Like you're gonna
Dude,
like
no. Who changes the power level on microwaves? Forget about it.
look
So
if you want a big steaming chewy mess of meat sinew, go ahead, blast it at power 10. Have fun. But if you want to subtly reheat those food objects, I recommend half power. If you got 4 or 5 nuggets, I do half power for about 28
Don't put them in the
seconds.
microwave.
Here we
How
go.
else am I supposed to
Oven,
already
under
garbage.
broil.
You got a microwave test right here.
broil?
Broil
Someone
is when you
suggested an
crank-
air fryer. Come on, guys. I don't
Put
even
Put
like.
it on a cookie sheet, put it in the oven, put it on broil for 5 minutes. You're done.
That's gonna dry it out.
That sounds insane.
That's gonna dry it right.
It
This
doesn't
guy's
look-
timing it. 30
They're
seconds, no
barely
longer,
edible
no
when
less.
they're new. Okay, when they're like fresh. There's no proper way to reheat a McDonald's chicken nugget because it's like,
It's
whoa,
a
what's-
it's a
how should we
yeah.
bury this, garbage? It doesn't happen. Fine, whatever you do.
I don't have a toaster oven. I could use a regular oven.
You're scared. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would
Well,
microwave.
it's scary. It's really hot.
Yeah, it's broil. What the hell? Am I gonna burn my house down? Probably. Oh.
Probably.
I would definitely not
Yeah.
bake it. You're gonna dry them out, and it's gonna taste like just a bunch of erasers. Like, honestly.
Mark, your internet is just something else.
Wait, why? What's
It's
happening
going.
now?
It's going in. It's going in the red every like 2 or 3 seconds.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like Flagpole Sitta and the character that they're satirizing in that song. You know, like been around the world and found only stupid people are breeding, the cretins cloning and feeding, and I don't even own a TV. You know, it's like I don't even use a microwave. Oil, you know. I want to publish zines and Rage Against Machines. It's like the same.
Honest to God, probably have not used a microwave in 10 or more years.
Wow.
Well, I use it every single fucking day.
It's handy for heating up leftovers really fast and it being just fine. You know.
Well, this guy's nugget looks a lot darker now.
Just the trick is just not too long. A lot of microwaves also have like a dinner plate setting or like a reheat setting that's based on weight. And I know you need a new scale. I know you need a new shipping scale, but you can also kind of guess because 3 ounces obviously is the size of a white box with a cassette in it, you know? So you can either set the weight or just put it on dinner plate reheat and just, give it 25 to 28 seconds and then see how it's looking. You know what I mean?
I feel like, I just want it to be a little warm.
Back in my savage microwaving days, a little hack that I would do is you get a little bit of water and then you kind of flick it on the food, you know?
I do the same thing to this day.
I don't.
Or
I don't-
inside of a microwave-safe container that has a lid.
One of those gross little plastic things that you slap on top of it. Yeah.
And then just open the lid slightly for ventilation, and that allows any moisture that comes out to be recaptured. It's gonna taste like ass no matter what. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a
I recommend-
McDonald's chicken nugget.
20 to 28 seconds.
Yeah, one time in high school, I was just blazed out of my mind. I was like high school high. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where you get a little scared. And I remembered I had a double quarter pounder with cheese in the fridge. And I took it and I microwaved it in the paper, to keep it all insulated. I pulled it out. It was just atomic hot. And I ate it. And then within about 15 seconds, I just felt my stomach just churning, like just turning inside out. And I remember just kind of pacing back and forth in my kitchen and then just like running outside and just vomiting it all out immediately.
Man, I have a contact high, like hearing that story. I
like,
miss being that high.
Hoping that like my parents would not wake up and come.
Grandma's Boy, it's like that's a scene out of Grandma's Boy.
The only
two Furbies.
There's no way I would put any effort into like reheating something because it's just food. Like,
well, that's a whole other show, folks. We don't have to,
That's tech world right there.
yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I just like to I usually make just a little bit more, and then I save those extra portions, and then I eat it for lunch the next day.
Is this channel? Is it a good idea to microwave this? Because I remember watching tons of those videos in high school.
It might be. I'm not sure. I haven't ever
What happens?
Googled search
What happens
this
if you
before.
microwave ice?
It melts.
Smells.
It just melts. That's it.
Yeah.
Can you microwave Huel? Is that possible or advisable? Like,
Oh, anything is possible.
I don't think you would want to microwave fuel.
It changes the genetic structure of the
Isn't-
huel to actual
isn't that
meat.
how? Isn't that how Catwoman blows up the department store in Batman Returns? Is that she puts a bunch of like spray paint in microwaves, and then she stands outside and goes meow, and then the store blows up.
Nice.
Let's-
Something
Well,
like that.
Chad is talking about cold pizza. I do not. No, thank you.
Oh, this has got to be. Is it a good idea to microwave this? I remember their little shield that they built, like the radiation shield.
I accidentally reheated pizza in the oven the other day. We ordered a pizza, ate some of it, and then while we weren't eating it, we had it in the oven to keep all the heat in, and I forgot that it was in there. Next day, I'm gonna go make some chicken and shit. I start, I get that oven up to about 350. I'm like, it smells kind of weird. And then I open it, and there's the pizza box with the receipt all taped on it. All sorts of fucking shit inside of it, just like, oh.
When we ordered a pizza and from Papa John's and had one of those Cinepies, which is like a dessert pizza. It's like personal pan sized, and we put it in we had like a drawer in the oven that you could keep things warm in or something, but then we forgot about it, and then somebody used the oven, and then it lit on fire.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And then we were like, and all four of us living in it at the time, we all just stood around the fire at the base of the oven, and we were like, what are we gonna do? How do we stop this?
Mark, we're gonna get a copyright strike.
Yeah, I'm closing it.
I
I was kind of getting into it.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say it's Advent Children's Stream Part 2.
Is it, so it latches onto visual code? I thought it was audio cues that gave
Dude,
you
it's on the
copyright.
visual because I did a premiere for the new DJ Prom Night album that I released for my Eclipse Picks Bandcamp subscription, and I made a little music video for one of the tracks, and it's like heavily edited. Like there's like all kinds of video delay and like waviness in Premiere, and then I recorded it to VHS, and I like took apart my VHS player and like was fucking with the tape to get like weird tracking glitches, and we still got the video is blocked on YouTube because of it used footage from a Japanese TV show that got
Holy
copyrighted.
shit.
So it's like I can't believe that they were able to see it
Yeah.
through whatever algorithm they use through all that
Jeez.
process.
It's the
insane.
fucking the cold electronic eyes staring us all down.
They see everything.
They see everything.
Have we talked about this before? But is an air fryer just a convection oven? Like, what's the difference here? Like, I don't really. Know
I have
what an
no
air-
idea what an air fryer is.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a tame heat gun. You've used a heat gun before, right, Mark?
What the hell is a heat gun?
I have
Like
not.
for
Like
shrink
strip paint
wrapping.
and stuff.
Oh,
I don't
You
know.
ever
what that
shrink
is.
wrap?
I don't cook with it. I mean,
It's like a hair dryer, except way more intense.
Extreme.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
it's
have
to like
used
get
them,
paint to refinish surfaces. Yeah, it's
You
like
don't- you don't
it's
cook
like a
your food
heat
with it,
gun
though.
in an enclosed space, basically.
sounds like an oven to
sounds-
me.
It's like watching the Great British Baking Show. You realize that there are basically like 3 types of sweets and like 10,000 names for the same shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so it's a sponge, okay, with icing. All right, so that's not a cake
Well-
though. Okay.
Right here, it just says an air fryer is a small countertop convection oven.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sorry. I needed to find that. I needed to figure that out for myself. It's part of my journey, and I thank you all for joining me on that.
Yeah, hey.
Do you have
We're here to
do you have an
support
Instant Pot?
I do. I got it as a gift.
See, I bought the pressure cooker, or I bought the air fryer attachment for the Instant Pot, and I would not recommend it. It's like an additional lid that goes on top, and then you put the air fryer basket within the pressure cooker, container or whatever, and the surface area of the inside of the basket is so small you can only fit like a really small layer of stuff. You can't really like stack stuff vertically on it, or else it's not going to get crispy. And only after about like 6 uses or whatever, I was like pulling like some tofu off of it, and it like pulled the like Teflon coating that was on the basket like straight off like onto the food. I was like,
Is that
what the
vegan?
hell? Teflon?
It's a good question.
Yeah. It's cancerous, but it's vegan.
It's not cruelty-free against humans.
There's a difference between an Instant Pot and a crock pot.
Yeah, Instant Pots takes like half an hour. It's a pressure cooker. Crock pot is like a slow heat is on the bottom. You know,
a crock pot is a
slow
ceramic pot that gets heated on all sides, and a pressure cooker uses. I just know about pressure cookers because of cooking competition shows. They're like, I'm going to try to, cook this insanely thick piece of meat in 20 minutes, even though it normally takes 2 hours, and I'm going to use a pressure cooker to do it. And it's like,
it's awesome.
Why don't they use it for everything then? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of been life-changing, to be honest. Like, it does perfect rice in 15, 20 minutes, never sticking.
Well, that's like, you just get a rice cooker. It takes about 15, 20 minutes,
Right, but this, you have like a crock pot, a rice cooker, and a,
it's an all-in-one.
one
That's
device,
cool.
so.
That's cool.
I cook my rice. It takes about 7 minutes to make rice.
Yeah.
You boil water, and then you pour the rice in the water, and you put a thing on top of it for 5 minutes. Rice is done.
Long grain brown rice?
Depends on what kind of rice, how much rice, and come on, folks.
Minute rice.
You can schedule your Instant Pot to start cooking rice 40 minutes before you get home. So it's that's pretty cool.
I have a really cute.
That to me is the dumbest feature. It's like you have to preload it before you went to work or whatever, and you just have all this wet rice sitting in a thing all day.
I love
and
that.
then you go to work, and then you.
Cool though. That's how when I was staying with my friend in Korea. That's how she did it. She started rice and then just had fucking rice in this cooker all day long.
That's pretty sweet.
Went and did shit and came back and was like, yeah, there's still rice in here and it's good.
Hey,
it ain't bad.
When
Rice
you
all
guys
the
are
time.
writing this song, Shinji here.
Oh yeah, this is our. It's kind of like our Revolution number 9. It's that kind of thing, It's the track that makes you scratch your head and search for clues.
It's really hard to speak over,
There's a song
listen
like
over
that
top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
weird. You can feel free to skip it. Sometimes tracks like that come on, and I do skip them.
I'm just kind of catching up with the chat here. It's Moltovich said, pressure cooker 32x CD add-ons. That's exactly what the air fryer lid for the Instant Pot is. It's the 32x.
And knuckles. Burn your knuckles on the edge of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to always have some chili going in the crock pot, and now it's you can do 8 hours worth of work in half an hour in the Instant Pot, so.
Well, they say Crockpot 3 is good, but I like, personally, Crockpot 3 and Knuckles.
You're referencing Sonic. Nice.
So,
Sonic
Mark,
games.
you're the host tonight.
No, I'm not. There is. I'm running this barely from my computer.
All dead air is Mark's fault.
Dead air is good sometimes. Actually, it has value.
It gives you time to think.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, bud.
Seep in.
Okay. I mean,
look,
why don't we jump into the playlist?
Yep,
there's some dead air right there when you're sleeping. It's a peaceful time.
I'll tell you what, last night I slept for 10.5 hours. And I woke up extremely tired.
So many times in the middle of the night last night. I think it's because I drank too much coffee and I just woke up and had to pee. And I came back and I couldn't get fucking comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Just I tried laying on my side and then and then I flipped my pillow and it had been so close to the last time I flipped the pillow that it was still warm. I'm just what is going on here, man? This sucks.
Yeah.
My own fault for drinking.
Window unit in my room, I've got it set to 74, and it's on energy saver, so it kind of kicks on and off. And I'll wake up when it's off, and it's right about to kick back on. So then like it'll just keep like lulling me in these cycles where I'll just kind of like wake up because it starts to get a little hot, and then it kicks back on, and then there's that white noise, and then it's cool again, and then I drift back to sleep, and then it keeps going. So I feel like I should either set it to constant
Turn
or
it
set
on
it
and
lower.
leave it. That's how I do
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's like 90 during the day. Like I don't even care. Turn
Yeah.
that shit.
I had to turn it
Oh
on just
my-
now. It's so hot in here.
So anyway, Mark,
Playlist
you're the
time.
host. Why don't you pull up Spotify and we can all tell fun little stories about the music that we'd like to share with you all, the audience, without whom we'd be nothing. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you tuning in, and we appreciate your patience.
Whatever. I'm just kidding.
Okay, Shinji.
He wouldn't be so. He would be more of a whinier about it.
More of a whinier about it. You're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
more of a whinier.
Have you added anything to this yet?
No.
Okay.
Well, just keep going. Keep telling your cute little stories.
Well, I
about
was
your
going to say,
little songs.
the theme is
What's the theme?
so after we give our picks, we're going to figure out which character from Evangelion we are. And you don't have to be a pilot. You can be a tertiary character as well. So let's keep that in mind.
Keep going.
Based on the emotional content of the songs that you choose tonight, we are going to dissect and put back together in a similar way that, say, Death Dynamic Shroud handles pop music, for example, to deconstruct and then reconstruct and reach a different type of conclusion based on that initial analysis. So we're going to just jump right into this now with our first set of picks for the night, which
And
are,
who do we have up first?
I think it must be Mark.
Mark, what? Yeah, why don't you go first since you didn't actually give us any songs?
Yeah,
Oh.
so before we get into this, I do want to preface this, that as we were about to go live with the stream, Mark said, "I'm sorry, Tech, I'm just going to have to, tell you what to look for live.
Good.
It'll just be easier that way." So let's see if this is easier than Tech just following links. We're
Okay.
about to find out.
Let's do it.
Okay, well, as usual, my picks are not based on my knowledge of music theory or my ability to find new music and share it with the world, but rather based on a 10-second long tweet from the account Ringtone Bangers, and
Sure.
Yes.
and a subsequent search for one of the composers of a 10-second long ringtone banger, only to discover that composer does not have any kind of musical presence or notable career that I could find online. But he did have a couple of sick drum and bass playlists on his personal account, which I listened to today while I was making the stream.
You know, I gotta say, I'm shocked that someone that composed ringtones in the early aughts is not more, notable in the year 2021. It seems like that would be just...
That was the career move. I remember.
Yeah.
That was the future. Mark, why don't you go ahead and tell me what the song is?
All right. Let's start with actually, it's probably going to be impossible to.
Let's start with a clue.
Information.
Actually, you know
Let's start
what?
with the letter.
I've got them here on my phone, so I will just text them to you.
All
How
right,
about
so
that?
Tech, get out a Ouija board, okay?
What
Throw
was
it
the-
up in the air and then shoot it with a shotgun.
Mark, how much would I have to pay you to just tell me what the songs are?
There's no sum that would allow me to be able to make this any easier for you. Yeah, I'm sorry. But here, I can send it to you in the text message group, though, instead. I'll do that.
Why
don't you send it on IRQ or something?
Skywriter. He's
There's
gonna say,
one.
Tech, look out your window. Because that's the earliest
Hired
that he
a
has
plane
available.
to circle it in the air.
I got carried away
Right in
thinking
the
about
cloud.
my afternoon listening to ringtone bangers. So I'm sorry.
Okay,
about that.
so first up we've got Walking Blues by LSB from their classic album Forfeit EP03.
Yeah, so-
Hey,
Oh.
they got 200,000 people listening to them on a monthly basis. So who's laughing now?
Hey,
I
and
mean-
once again, ahead of the curve, there is an old ringtone that was featured in the HCMJ album, Power Plant,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
at the end of Camp for Holiday Hearts, and that was actually, it was a natural thing. I had just finished a take when my buddy Mike Z called, and so you can hear the ringtone, and I pick it up and I say, hello,
Hello.
and I'll never forget that he was calling to tell me about StarCraft 2 and the trailer that had just been announced that day.
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful stuff. Mark,
Thank
in that
you.
amount of time, what if you would have sent me your third song?
Oh, did I not send it to you?
I'm trying to help.
I know. I thought for sure
There you go.
would.
I already sent it. I was actually trying to find. I'm trying to not make this about the music because I
Of
don't.
course.
Because
Yeah.
it's a playlist.
Yeah, I'd just like to take this time that I have. I have a quarter of the time here to talk about the music
Sure.
that I am vicariously selecting through Benjamin Bethurum, who's the name of the composer of the 10-second long ringtone that led me to these songs.
Oh, okay.
My appreciation of these three songs is purely based on instinct. I could not even hum a single 5 seconds of any of them to you right now. I don't remember what any of these three songs sound like. All I know is that I enjoyed them at face value,
That's beautiful.
based on Benjamin's recommendations in 2018. So,
Is this the same Benjamin that was breaking?
Ugh. Ugh.
Was that song the Diary of Jane? Was that breaking?
Yeah, but I think we thought he was saying Diary of Pain at first.
Right, initially, yes. Which actually, in retrospect, is kind of better,
Yeah.
My Diary of Pain. It's like, you might as well just go all out.
Yeah. If you're just Yeah, because the chorus happens and then he's like, all of a sudden he's like, I will finally take my place. Diary of Jane. Ugh.
Yeah.
all right, you can move on. That's my
That was
Dude, but that song actually kind of bangs.
It's like, seriously, if you go back and like,
Dude,
Yeah.
like,
all right, Kevin, you're next. You got the first song in.
All
By the
right.
way, real quick though, I do want to note that Spotify has a great new feature where when you send me these links, if I right-click them and then copy-paste them into the search for Spotify and then hit enter, not only is that the only way for me to actually search for them, but by pressing enter, it automatically causes the song to play.
Nice.
But it actually only causes the song immediately after the song you linked to me to play.
What the hell?
that's so
So-
Spotify. It's like the backwards typing. It's like,
Yeah,
how
back-
is this
back-
even
back-
possible?
That's a marvel of Spotify. But anyway, Kevin, please, your first song, you picked Ouroboros Festival from predictably the Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns.
Lightning
sound-
Returns, baby. Best Final Fantasy game ever made. For real though, I've really been enjoying this game. When I first started playing it, I was like, "What the hell is this? This is so dumb." Like the plot is just beyond redemption, but like the gameplay is just so incredibly good and rich and deep, and the music is just like there's so much of it. The soundtrack is so crazy, and there's a Majora's Mask like ticking time basically till the end of the world, and you can do various things to stop the time or slow it down or whatever.
Cool.
But because of this, it's got like a real-time clock in the game, and there's like different music for like early morning, like mid-afternoon, twilight hours, like after midnight hours for like every area. And there's one town. There's a lot of like a lot of kind of I don't know, generic world music influence in this soundtrack. And there's one particular town that just has really cool like percussive elements to all the tracks, and this one is my favorite from that. It's like it starts off kind of with just percussion, and they just keep adding elements to it, and it gets progressively like cooler and cooler. It's like a techno track kind of, and it's just amazing.
Making me want
it's
to play
like
it. Yeah,
good for its own
I'm so sorry. We have to hit pause real quick because we forgot to assign a character to Mark. I think the answer is obvious. It's Asuka, because you can just picture her with a flip phone, with maybe a charm dangling from it, and you just know that she's got some bangers on there. And this is what she would want to listen to while being traumatized by all sorts of things. So I pick Asuka for.
Well, that's canon.
For Mark.
Cool. Thanks
Okay,
for bringing
Kevin,
it back to that.
Your next pick was Configuration by DVI. Sounds more like something you'd have fun talking about.
You know it. Yeah, DVI is great. Their work is just super cool. Like, it's got kind of that biomechanical. I hate to use the term Y2K, but it definitely is very Y2K aesthetic. Cool 3D renders of like intense machinery in like audio form, and I don't know why it took me so long to like dive into one of their albums, but this one auto played on Spotify, and I was like, oh, this is what this sounds like. This is incredible, and it reminds me a lot of like Bullet Hell soundtracks. Like, you know, I've done a couple mixes as Bullet Heaven, of kind of like post.
I just now got that. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, it's like post Y2K,
really
high intensity kind of trance influenced bangers. So yeah, DVI is really good.
Finally, you picked Beautiful Way by Beck. What can you tell us about Beck?
I was reminded of this track when I forgot what I was like looking up, but I remember a 30-second clip of Beautiful Way. It came with our like Windows ME install when we got a new computer in like 1999 or something. And that might have been my first exposure to Beck. I think I would have been like 10 at the time, and hearing like being like, what is this, like this free file that comes with our computer, and hitting play, and there's a 30 seconds. You know, it's not even the best Beck song. It's a cool song, but I was reminded of Beck recently. I saw like a little clip on Instagram of Beck or Thurston Moore interviewing Beck when he was like really, really young, and he's just like trying to be weird and like 90s alt on purpose, you know, like. But well, yeah,
to be fair, he invented that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's just weird how like times have changed so much, and he's just so much different now, and he's never really been the same through each of the albums. So.
Yes, he's just been climbing the Scientology ranks.
Yeah, every time he audits, he gets a little more close.
Yeah. I think he gave it up in like 2016.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah.
Good for him. He escaped.
Yeah. He was raised Scientologist.
Right. Yeah, that's what we can't believe.
Which is kind of like, it's kind of hard to get out of it at that point.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Kevin is obviously Gendo. He was in charge of the configuration of the Ava units. He was looking to find a beautiful way back to his wife by bringing about the end of the worlds. But
spoilers.
Anyway, that you.
The Ouroboros festival is kind of like the third impact. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have the snake tail being eaten by the head, and so that circle of death and rebirth
There you go.
continuum. So you are
Beautiful.
Gendo. And so, Mark, if you could find Asuka and Gendo and maybe drop in some transparent PNGs over yourself. And,
Mark, you don't have to do that.
that would be awesome.
I'm just face palming these characters that
Oh,
you're
that
listing.
works too. Yeah. I like that. Kind of like the change.
Okay, James,
Huh.
it's your turn.
Oh, now this is going to be tough.
Honestly, I think you gotta rise up and let me know why you picked that Freedom Call song.
So right before the stream, we were having a chat in the inner sanctum of the Shroud, which is a place where our cult tier members of the Death Dynamic Shroud's New World Mixtape Club get exclusive, more unfettered, unguarded access to what's truly inside Tech and my heart. And we were having a conversation in the Cult of the Shroud in the Inner Sanctum about Freedom Call. Freedom Call was this incredible power metal band from Germany that we got into because we actually were trying to download a Rhapsody album, and we didn't have Oink invites. What.cd did not exist yet. God knows where we downloaded this piece of shit, because one of the tracks was labeled Emerald Sword by Rhapsody, but it very much so was Rise Up by Freedom Call. And I don't even know how we figured it out. Like, eventually, because we looked at the video for Emerald Sword on YouTube or whatever, and it's like, this is not the song. Like, this is a different song. Like, I don't even think this is the same band. But the song that was labeled was Rise Up, and it is incredible.
Hey, time out real quick. I'm sorry. Is your OBS okay? Okay, it went away.
Oh yeah,
There was that happened to me the other night on my stream, and it just caused all kinds of problems for the entire rest of the stream. So,
what happened?
There was an encoding overload, and it was causing your kilobytes per second to skyrocket, and also drop to like 100 in rapid succession. Anyway.
Rise Up by Freedom Call. It makes me feel like I just want to run out into a field with a sword and slay a whole army of imaginary goblins that are assaulting the kingdom of my imagination.
James, if you were going to build that sword out of some type of gemstone,
I wonder, maybe I would make it out of emerald.
An emerald sword?
Emerald sword. So this track is the song that we thought that Rise Up was erroneously labeled as, that we then later heard actually, and it is another fantastic power metal song, this time from the great kingdom of Italy. Rhapsody, the band now known as Rhapsody of Fire, after they were forced.
The great kingdom of Italiano.
Of course, Italy, we all know, started as a large collection of city-states until eventually the power was centralized in the Roman Catholic Church after the collapse of the Roman Empire. So there was never really a kingdom of Italy per se until they were incorporated as their own sovereign nation. But again, this is all in the kingdom of my imagination, where I make the rules. And that's where Rhapsody the band comes from. And as Tech pointed out in the Discord, the chorus of Emerald Sword has got to be one of just the most beautiful, energizing statements of pure fantasy that has ever been
it truly is. Yeah, it is truly remarkable. I'm telling you, if I know, like, many of you are probably not going to be like super into power metal, and that's fine. I get it. But like, the chorus to Emerald Sword is remarkable in like almost like an Irish like drinking song kind of way, the way that like the melody goes, but it's just really, even
even if you're like, oh, I hate guitar music, I can't stand stuff with guitars in it, or like, oh god, rock and metal is
Right.
I hate it all. It can all just die. If you listen to the chorus of Emerald Sword and don't feel something, then like I pity you. You know, I don't know what are you sure you're alive? Like, check your fucking pulse. So check it out.
Yeah,
And my final pick is from Under the Bushes, Under the Stars, an album by Guided by Voices, and this song, Man Called Aerodynamics, which is one of my favorite songs by Guided by Voices, Hometown Heroes, from the same place that Tech and I are from, which is, of course, Dayton, Ohio. And I chose this song for several reasons. There was some Twitter thread about people with a lot of aliases, and it was like post screenshots of like people with an insane amount of aliases. And it's like, look, this guy's got like 20 aliases. And I was like, okay, here's Bob Pollard. And it was 4 entire screenshots, you know. It was so long because there are literally like 300 of these things, because no one on Earth has had as many aliases as this person, Bob Pollard. And also, I bought plane tickets to Dayton. I'm going to visit my family in a few weeks, and Tech's going there too, turns out. Another incidental...
Well, thanks for... What person are you from Evangelion, then?
So I'm going to ask my friends. Who do you think I am?
I don't see the character that you are on here. It's there's a character that plays the guitar and is obsessed with music in the show, and you reminded me of him in that moment. He kind of looks like me or Kevin.
The guy that looks like you.
Yeah. Let's see. Evangelion, long hair guitar, or long hair guy. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just see that guy and I'm like, oh, that's Mark. Like, I don't even...
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
he's one of the operators, right? And he's
Yeah.
in love with the girl who's a lesbian or whatever.
This guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He works at Nerve.
Yeah. He's got some nerve. Well, thanks, Mark. I take it as a compliment. He does look literally exactly like you, but I'll take it.
Well, thanks for leaving me some time.
And there's a great scene where he's typing on the computer, and he gets real excited because the lights are flashing, and there's a full, like, Nero...
Shut up! Let's Go All the Way by Sly Fox is my first pick. This is an 80s song that you might not recognize from the title alone, but you've probably heard the song before. It was a hit in the 80s, very much a one-hit wonder. I believe this was the only album they ever made. No other singles from it that ever registered. I sampled it on the song I sampled on the song Amateur on
Classroom Sex Tape.
So, yeah, Rainy Cakes knows what's up. I think about that song from time to time. And so, yeah, I was just thinking about it today, and so I put it on here. Also, I've been listening to a lot of the Deviations 1, the Nine Inch Nails instrumental versions of The Fragile.
Fucking
Deviations,
awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. It really, if anything, it really reveals that truly the genius of Nine Inch Nails is, like, obviously, like, you know, mood and like creating an environment or whatever, but like The Fragile sounds so dense and complex when you are listening to The Fragile, but when you take away the vocals, it really reveals just how significant Trent Reznor's vocals are to Nine Inch Nails, like how critical they are, and also kind of reveals how poppy the music really is when, like, paired back that way. It's really interesting. But yeah, Deviations 1 is cool. It's not on Spotify though, but I picked "Where Is Everybody" from The Fragile because I was listening to that today, and I was like, I was like doing some work, and I just stopped, and I was just like, fucking
Yeah.
yes.
Where are they? You know.
That also trivia fact is the only song from The Fragile that has never been played live. Finally, I showed this to James, but in my it's not iTunes anymore. It's Music, Apple Music. I inexplicably had this song in my library, and I saw it and recently added, and I was like, when did I add this? And it's a song called "Goodbye," which I'll close out the show with, by Air Supply, from their album "The Vanishing Race."
Hey, way to buy View on vinyl. That's what we're talking about. I'm sorry, but you had to pull it out.
No, it's okay. Anyway, "The Vanishing Race" is an album by Air Supply that I can't believe. It's called "The Vanishing Race," and it has like, it just seems so
very early 90s.
Yeah, very 90s.
White guilt, early 90s.
Yeah. But anyway, this song "Goodbye" was in my Apple Music, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so I played it, and literally never heard the song in my life. No idea how it got into my Apple Music. I genuinely don't know how it got there. But I listened to it and was very moved by it. It's really cheesy, but also surprisingly beautiful. And by the final chorus, I feel that it is undeniable. And so yeah, that is the song "Goodbye."
So that's all three, right? Yes. Okay. So check your Shinji.
Thank you.
And so here come end of Evangelion spoilers. I don't know. I mean, you've had like 24 years now, but if you haven't seen it yet, you're gonna want to close your ears. But basically, human and